and a very warm welcome to this special. I'm Neha Bhardwaj Alter, and like me, if you're all still thinking about that wonderful knock by Virat Kohli against Sunrisers Hyderabad, don't worry, we will talk about that on the show. We will go into what he said about how he wants to stay true to his technique, and he does that by playing proper cricketing shots. He said he doesn't believe in playing fancy shots and throwing his wicket away. We will discuss all of that. We will also discuss how exquisite his batting was as he scored 100 of 63 balls, taking Royal Challengers Bangalore a step closer to the playoffs. But let's begin with the game tonight between Punjab Kings and Rajasthan Royals. Two teams that are still in contention for the playoffs, but only just. If RCB and Mumbai Indians don't win their final games, then there's a chance that Rajasthan Royals might find themselves in a position where they could qualify. But for Punjab, it is more difficult given their negative net run rate. Punjab are coming off the recent loss against Delhi Capitals, whereas Rajasthan Royals are recovering from their drubbing at the hands of Royal Challengers Bangalore, where they were bundled out for just 59. The venue is Dharamshala, where Delhi Capitals scored 213 for 2 in the last game. So what can we expect tonight? Jamie Alter is here with us. We'll also have Kushan Sarkar later on the show. PBKS versus RR. Jamie, who has the upper hand going into this game?
Not so easy to say, right? Because all said and done, yes, Punjab did lose that match 2 nights ago, but they can look back and say, a couple errors here and there. And if even two other batsmen had given support to Liam Livingston, we would have overhauled that 213. Compare that to Rajasthan, bowled out for 59, the lowest total of this season, when at one stage you were number one and then a consistent two, and that became 3 and 4 and now 6. When you lose by 112 runs, I think they're the ones who are having to play catch up. And again, it's going to come down to the toss. Look, we all know, Maya, if both the teams bat well, 215, 220 is easily going to be put up on that track. But I just feel that Punjab, despite that loss, have more momentum than, frankly, this pretty flat looking. It sounds weird to say flat for Rajasthan, but how bad have they been in the last 1 month?
Yeah, I don't know how everything went wrong for Rajasthan Royals at one point, right at the top of the league. They were scoring runs, their bowlers were getting them the wickets, and suddenly they find themselves in this situation where they're all but out. I mean, a lot of things have to go in their favor for them to qualify, Jamie. But how much of this is Sanju Samson and his captaincy? How much of what has happened with Rajasthan Royals be blamed on Sanju Samson?
Good question. I'm not sure how much of the blame to give. Obviously, some part of the blame has to be there because it's Sanju Samson we're talking about. He's that rare captain who keeps wickets, who bats in the top three, and he's one of those teams which we talk about Indian talent. And by Indian, I mean people who played for India. He is one of the bigger names. He's not a Virat Kohli, he's not a Rohit Sharma, but he's still a very, very important player. Now, if we look at Rajasthan and maybe Hyderabad's use of the impact player, I think to my mind, these two have been the weakest teams, more so Rajasthan. Right now, who do you blame that to? Yes, the backroom staff has a say, but I would like to believe that the captain has the biggest say. Right now, we've seen Sanju Samson have a typical Sanju Samson season as a batsman. Starts off with a 50, next match 40. Then there's that long dry spell where nothing happens. Then we get a flash of brilliance, that 62 of 30 balls against Gujarat when he took on Rashid Khan. But then again, the runs dry up. So when a team is struggling, and the strange part is, Meha, we discussed this before. What changes have they made from last year? Nothing. The team got to the final. They were runners up. It's the same team. For a while there, Jaiswal was 1 run behind the orange cap holder, Faf du Plessis, and Chahal was some 1 or 2 wickets behind the purple cap holder. So
Yeah.
things were not that bad. What has changed in a fortnight? Yes, captaincy to some extent, but it's just not enough big players doing their job. Josh Butler has been a very disappointing. Shimron Hetmeyer has been very disappointing. Devdutt Padikkal, whether it's his fault or the management's for batting him in the wrong place, He's been very disappointing. Trent Bolt has been decent. It's just, to my mind, a case of not enough players standing up and backing up Sanju Samson.
Okay, Kushan Sarkar also joins us on this show. Kushan, we are previewing the game tonight between Rajasthan Royals and Punjab Kings. We'll also talk about Virat Kohli's incredible 100. But we were just talking about what went wrong with Rajasthan Royals. Given how good this team was in the first half of the tournament, I was asking Jamie about how much of what has happened with Rajasthan Royals, how much of that can be blamed on Sanju Samson's captaincy. We've had this conversation about, what happens behind the scenes. We don't know who's actually taking all the calls. We don't know. But if we just go by what we see, it is Sanju Samson who's the captain. And there have been errors tactically from Rajasthan Royals. So how much of it is due to that?
Look, Neha, a captain carries the cross, so Sanju cannot be absolved of all the responsibility. But I do not think Sanju takes all the calls. He's a young captain, and there is Kumar Sangakkara, a very a world-class player in his own time, and also Zubin Bharucha, who wields a lot of influence in that franchise when it comes to cricketing decisions. So I don't think that Sanju alone takes all the decisions. So blaming Sanju alone isn't won't be a great clever thing to do. Number one. Number two, over here is the bowling attack. A captain is as good as his team. You haven't given Sanju, just like in Indian batting has been Delhi's bane, which I've been talking through and through this IPL conversations that we have had. Indian pace bowling has been Rajasthan Royals' problem. Like you had Trent Bolt, but a Trent Bolt will have his off days also. Trent Bolt will give you those power play wickets, but will also have his off days. So
Yeah.
where is that impact Indian bowler? Where is that Shiraj? Where is that Shami?
Yeah.
Where is, even for that matter of fact, someone of Ishant Sharma, a fading Ishant Sharma? You don't have the bowlers. Like Umran Malik's Hyderabad handling of Umran Malik, who has been atrocious. And in case of Rajasthan Royals, it's the opposite case. They didn't have Arsenal. I don't think Kuldeep Sen was completely fit, or maybe he was not bowling well in the net. There are a lot of times you take decisions seeing the current form, how they're doing in the net. And there are a lot of times that, like a small example was Karun Nair. Why wasn't he played in England in 2018 was a big call, and everyone panned Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli. It was
Yeah.
as simple as that. Karun Nair was not batting well in the nets. All those who have seen, he was not batting well. So probably Kuldeep Sen had carried injury throughout the domestic season. He didn't play. Chandrakant Pandit didn't even play in the Ranji final after that stellar IPL season. He didn't play the Ranji final
Yeah.
last time when Madhya Pradesh won the trophy, before this year, when Madhya Pradesh won the
Won this.
trophy
Yes.
against Mumbai.
Yes. Okay, we seem to have lost Kushan. We'll try to reconnect. But yes, valid point there. But Jamie, it also comes down today to how Punjab Kings deal with all the wrongs from the last match that they played against Delhi Capitals. Isn't that so? I mean, Shikhar Dhawan in the post-match presentation admitted that he made some wrong tactical calls. Harpreet Brar bowling the last over being one of those. How do you see that panning out for Punjab Kings, given that they know where they went wrong and they are playing in the same conditions?
I don't think he's going to bowl Harpreet Brar or any other spinner again in the 20th over. He's definitely going to work harder to not poke the first ball he gets into the hands of slip. What a test match dismissal that was, right? Ishant Sharma's team's in, first
Yeah.
ball, bowls a test match length ball. There's a slip in the first over, or second over of a T20, and Shikhar Dhawan manages to find the lone slip. But again, will I be surprised if Shikhar Dhawan again wins the toss and chases and opts to chase? I will not be. It seems to be a trend. It seems to be an obsession. Beyond that, I think the message would have been: look, we might slip up with the ball, but guys, we need to get our batting. We were so close. We were like what, 2 hits away from chasing down 214, right?
Yeah.
If Liam Livingstone can get 94 off what, 47, 48 balls, can't two other batsmen get 10, 12, 15 runs between them? I think the focus will be: look, we may have another bad day because it's a small ground, the ball travels. I'm actually most keen to see whether they again leave out Sikandar Raza to play Kagiso Rabada, because what they did was to put him out. Um, they had to also bring in Atharva Taide, who's had,
Yeah.
if I can be polite, has had a middling season. But then we saw this instance of him being retired out. Now, it's rare to get a batsman retired out, but it's also a big statement. We don't have faith in him, and what message does that send, to the batsman as well? So, and look, Kagiso Rabada on the day, what did he do? 3 overs, 36 runs. I would
Sure.
have much rather have seen Sikandar Raza, and I'm willing to bet that Sikandar Raza would not have played the kind of terrible shots that most of the batsmen played. He would have ensured that Liam Livingston got over the line. So I think tactically, Harpreet Brar bowling again is not going to happen. I just hope they keep their wits about them and they do their best to bring back in Sikandar Raza, because in a very weak middle order, he's looked the best.
Okay, but Atharva Taide, the way he retired himself out, should he have been retired out a little earlier, Jamie, in the last game?
I mean, look, it's such a rare instance. It's something that we keep joking about every other Saturday in our club matches here. Yeah, iska strike rate nahi hai, isko bahar kar do. But when it happens in an IPL match, right? It's a big statement. It's probably a mixture of him not feeling it, but definitely you got the feeling at least 2 hours before. Why can't this guy just get on with it? Because the asking rate was touching 15 or 16 or something, right? Yes, Liam Livingston, like you were saying, watching it, no, he can do it.
Yeah.
But something had to give. And it's very unfortunate that it came down to someone being told, look, you got these runs, but beta thoda side ho ja. And I think yes, it's a one-off, but it's indicative of how loose this batting has been. It's been Shikhar Dhawan. When he's good, it's all about this one-man army. Livingston has had a decent tournament, but not enough batsmen have stood up. So
Yeah.
let's hope for Punjab and their fans' sakes that they don't get in a situation where the message is being sent to Taide ke yaar, tu wapas aa ja.
Okay, Kushan's back. Kushan, who has the advantage tonight between Punjab Kings and Rajasthan Royals? There's one team that is coming off a soul-crushing loss to Royal Challengers Bangalore, and Royal Challengers Bangalore should thank them for a better net run rate if it comes down to net run rate. The other, losing to Delhi Capitals, a match which they could have won had they got few things right. Conditions though. Punjab Kings know the conditions here. They know exactly what they did wrong in the last game. They look to correct that. Who has the advantage?
I feel still Rajasthan will hold the advantage. We saw like last match, Neha, we said that we don't. There's a fear of unknown. We do not know what kind of track has been laid because it's the first match played. Now we know that it's a good batting track. If a team like Delhi can score 130,
Okay. Kushan, I'll have to, I'm sorry, I'll just have to stop you there. There is some problem that we're facing when it comes to Kushan's audio. We'll try to correct that. But Jamie, you want to take that question?
No, Kushan is spot on when he says that a team like Delhi who really struggled to get to that 165 mark all tournament, when they rack up 213 for two, I just go back to what we discussed. Why wouldn't you want to be in a knockout match? Would you rather be the team chasing 214 or setting 214? For me, it's a no-brainer. But then again, that's why I'm sitting here and I'm not part of the strategy group of an IPL team, right? I just don't get it. This whole thing. I mean, it's like every time the three of us are here, somehow the discussion comes back to this toss. Why are teams? I'm kind of glad yesterday that Faf du Plessis, after choosing to chase, his team actually went in and did it, because it's the first in 13 matches. This was the second time overall this season that Bangalore had to chase. The first time was in their second match back in the first week of April when they lost by 81 runs to Kolkata. After that, all their wins have come when they've been batting first. So I'm glad that one team at least bucked the trend, because like I said in yesterday's show, in the last 7-8 days, there have been 5 or 6 examples of teams needing to win and they've chosen to chase and they've lost. So, but like I said, I would not be surprised if once again Shikhar Dhawan smiles and said, we will chase again.
I wonder though, what will the team that wins the toss do, Kushan? We've already seen what happened in the last game, PBKS DC, but we also saw RCB chase down the total and with ease. But then for that, you also have to restrict the opposition for under 200. What do you see teams doing today? Whoever wins the toss, what do you think they'll do? Okay, I think we're constantly having this trouble with Kushan. But okay, Jamie, for Rajasthan Royals now, it's a team that has depended largely on Yashasvi Jaiswal and Joss Butler. They're the ones who've been scoring the runs for them. Sanju Samson scored runs. He scored, I think, 350s for Rajasthan Royals this season. But there hasn't been a match-winning knock, a knock that you'd say it's because of Sanju Samson that Rajasthan Royals have won this. Do you see Sanju Samson doing something like that tonight? I mean, you know, you expect from the captain, and we've seen him play these knocks before for RR, but this season he's contributed to the team's cause, but he hasn't been an out-and-out match winner for the team.
He's absolutely not been a match winner. The one match which, to my mind, saw him bat the most significantly was that match when they came from a terrible situation, 3-4 wickets down to beat Gujarat. Like I said before, Shimron Hetmeyer was the one who got all the headlines. The images were him on his knees, roaring 52 not out, 26 balls. But before that, it was Samson's 62 of 30 balls that, you know, ignited that team. So that remains his only, I would say, match-winning innings. But again, it's Sanju Samson, right? How many times since 2014 onwards? A stunning 80, a stunning 100, you know, but then, you know, the returns start to diminish. If one player in that team needs to, for obvious reasons, being the number 3, being the captain, he needs to score runs today more than Butler, more than Jaiswal, more than Hetmeyer, it is Sanju Samson. Because if you do get into the playoffs, right, you're going to need your captain on very, very good ground. You don't want to limp in through some backdoor entry, net run rate, and have Sanju Samson going in, you know, with another 12 or 13 runs score. He needs to click. I expect him to click because I think he's far too good a talent to go through such a barren run in this season. Cliche, it's come at the hour, come at the man. Maybe we'll see parallels of that match in 2010. I remember it so well because I was at the Dharamshala Stadium. It was Punjab versus Chennai. Chennai had to win. MS Dhoni hit 3 sixes off Irfan Pathan. Then he punched his helmet. Maybe today that captain in a winning chase bangs his helmet. Maybe his name is Sanju Samson.
Maybe. But this is also a question that we're asking all of you who are watching us tonight. Who do you think will win tonight? Who do you think has the advantage between Punjab Kings and Rajasthan Royals? Remember that if you look at both these teams on the points table, it's Rajasthan Royals who have the advantage because of their better net run rate. Despite that thrashing at the hands of Royal Challengers Bangalore, they have a better net run rate. So in that sense, if it comes down to the net run rate, it is Rajasthan Royals who have the advantage over Punjab Kings. Let's take a look at that points table, Jamie. There are now, so there you see Rajasthan, 13 matches, they've got 12 points. They've got a better net run rate than PBKS and KKR and also Mumbai Indians. If you could just go to the top of this table, the first half or the top half of this table, and then we'll see that. Look at that, Mumbai Indians. If it comes down to the net run rate, Jamie, Mumbai are going to be in trouble because if Royal Challengers Bangalore, I think what these other teams in the bottom half are depending on is for Mumbai as well as for Royal Challengers Bangalore to lose their final games. And if that happens, then RR does have that what would you say, that little chance to qualify for the playoffs. But right now it's very clear Gujarat Titans have already qualified. LSG and CSK, between these two, I think it will come down to who qualifies in the top 2. And then, of course, if you look at RCB and Mumbai Indians, they have to win their last 2 matches. If they win their last 2 matches, then Royal Challengers Bangalore, in fact, could go up, you know, and could also finish in top 2. If they do end up winning their last game, then they could go on top as well, in the top 2, as in, you know, just below GT, because of their better net run rate. CSK, of course, need to lose by a huge margin. But is that something that is possible? How are you looking at this points table and the scenarios now for teams? Do you see any chance for Kolkata Knight Riders and PBKS and RR?
Look, I don't think so. Given the three names you've just taken, yes, RR seem like the one with the best chance. But let's face it, Mia, and if any viewers here have comments on this, let's hear from them. We are now in the back end of the business end. One match, and you're done. Okay, every match now is a knockout. If RR qualify, and I don't think if they do, I don't think I think they're the least deserving of the teams to qualify, given that they've lost 6 of their last 8. I don't think they should go through. If they go through, where are they going to end up, Maya? They're going to end up at number 4. That means you barely got through, right? Now, if you get there, you need 2 more good matches to get to the final. Yeah. Is a team that's lost 6 of their last 8, who were bowled out for 59 in their previous match. Even if somehow they managed to beat Punjab today, are they good enough to win 2 more matches in the knockouts? I don't think that team is going to be Rajasthan Royals. I think if it's going to be that team, number 4, I think RCB are best placed right now, followed by Mumbai second. I don't think RR, even if they win today, I just don't think they have it in them to win 2 matches, Meha, in the playoffs. Because let's face it, 3 and 4, very, very tough from there onwards. Chennai, Gujarat, and sounds weird coming from me, but Lucknow actually stand a much better chance than Rajasthan Royals right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll come down to the 4th spot, really, between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Mumbai Indians. And I think with Royal Challengers Bangalore having won the game yesterday, they've really given themselves that boost because they are better when it comes to the net run rate. So in case both these teams do not win, it is Royal Challengers Bangalore who will qualify. So that's a big thing that Virat Kohli has done for this team.
I think let's just, since we don't have Kushan yet, let's actually spend a little more time talking about what that 8-wicket win, Meha, has done for Bangalore, right? I brought it to your attention that this was the first successful chase that RCB's done all season. They've not been in positions to chase, right? The first time they were there was their second match, they lost. When you manage to chase 187, 188, yes, it got to the last over and all, but when you chase in that dominating manner against a team which I read somewhere for like 7 years, they've been that spanner in their works. To do that, they've lost now 6 matches in Hyderabad. When you knock off these proverbial, bugbears, as they say, your Virat Kohli gets 100, Faf du Plessis, gets one more fantastic, was it 850? When Michael Bracewell, who knows I'm only playing as a backup player, when he gets 2 in an over, more than the result, more than boosting the net run rate, I think you take a lot more good vibes into your next match. This is why I rate this team now as the most dangerous of the 4 teams contending for that one spot. Had they won by 5 wickets or 4 wickets, it wouldn't be the same. To do it like that, with a 172-run opening partnership, and look at Virat Kohli. We keep talking about, that strike rate. He dominated the power play. The moment that he got those runs, I think Faf and Virat knew that, jitne runs banenge, we need to cash in on this in the power play because the pitch plays slower. As it turned out, Hyderabad's bowling was so flat that they probably would have even chased, 200 yesterday. Yeah. I just think it's the manner, not so much the final result, 8 wickets. It's the manner in which they got to that 8-wicket win. It's actually put Bangalore on a far, far stronger footing than they were before yesterday's match.
Okay, you've actually cued me to this last night's match. Let's talk about it now. We've got Kushan back as well. Hopefully the audio will be fine. Well, let's talk about the match from last night before I come to Kushan and to Jamie, where Virat Kohli, along with Faf du Plessis, took Royal Challengers Bangalore closer to the playoffs after RCB thrashed Sunrisers Hyderabad by 8 wickets. Hyderabad put up a total of 186, courtesy a brilliant 100 from Heinrich Klaasen, who's actually been one of the best players of Spain in this edition of the IPL. But Klaasen's century went in vain as Virat Kohli came into the chase with his beast mode button switched on. That's right. Kohli hit Bhuvneshwar Kumar for 2 fours in the very first over, a beautiful cover drive of the first ball, showing his intent early on. He then took on Abhishek Sharma, took on N. Natarajan. He got to his 50 in just 36 balls. And then in between, I think it was the 9th over, Virat Kohli hits this huge six, 103-meter six of the debutant from Sunrisers Hyderabad, Nitish Reddy, that left his partner Faf du Plessis stunned as well. And then he targeted Bhuvi again in the 15th over, hitting 4 fours and 5 balls. It was Virat Kohli at his best. This was also Kohli's first 100 in the IPL since 2019 and his 6th overall, which has taken him at the same level as his former teammate Chris Gayle for the most 3-figure scores in the league. Now, let's get Kushan in and Jamie in to talk about how brilliant that was. People have been... Let me start this by saying this, Kushan, that at the post-match presentation, it was an honest reply when Virat Kohli said people keep talking and he says, I cannot change my technique. And I'm going to put that quote up for everybody as well. But what I'm trying to say is that I think he saw that people were criticizing him for his strike rate, for his slow start. And here he came out and, you know, showed intent from the word go. Now, this is what he has said. He defends his technique. He says, I've been a guy who's never tried so many fancy shots. He said, for me, it's not about playing fancy shots and throwing my wicket away. We've got test cricket after the IPL, so I've got to stay true to my technique and find ways to win games for my team, something that I take a lot of pride in. And when I can make an impact in an important game, obviously that gives me confidence, gives the team confidence, and it just helps the team overall, which is something that I look to do. So the part that stands out for me, and then I'll get that question to Kushan, the part that stands out for all of us is the fact that he's talking about his technique and how he's talking about he wants to stay true to his technique. That's something. Now, it's for other cricketers to also see, but he's made it very clear, Kushan, that as a 3-format player, it is not easy to keep changing your technique according to the formats.
Obviously, it's not easy, and it was one of his better knocks in a long time in IPL, I would say. And he said one thing, Meha, that we probably didn't show. That he said that often I don't give myself enough credit. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, often I don't give myself enough credit for the number of hundreds that I've scored in IPL. I put too much stress on myself. So that statement is indicating that even he understands the pressure. A top quality player will never show that he is under pressure. But he feels the pressure more than anyone else because the expectation is double, treble, or exponential when it comes to a player like Kohli. A player with a player like Yashasvi Jaiswal, at this point, whatever you get is a bonus because it's only expectations are rising. Only you have set a bar. You cannot think of a bar below that. You cannot lower your bar. And with millions of fans. So he has to stand up to that expectation also. Even if he say that I don't care about the outside noise. You only say that when you care about the outside.
Yeah.
If you don't care about the outside noise, you will not even speak about it. MS Dhoni never speaks about it and he actually doesn't care about the outside. But people who care about outside noise, they will say that we don't care about the outside. We all are like that. That's a common human trait. Obviously, he feels hurt. He doesn't like those memes at times, which is ruthless. The trolls can be ruthless. There are his fans also who are also ruthless on others who criticize Kohli. So like it's a two-way street. But yes, yesterday knock. But what I like about Virat Kohli's knock is that in 90s he was running those tools. In Indian cricket, the best judge of a single is Sachin Tendulkar, and the best judge of a double is Virat Kohli.
Absolutely.
Sachin Tendulkar understood the single very well. He knew. You'll hardly go back to the scoreboard here. Hardly Sachin Tendulkar has run a quick single and has got run. You'll never see. He was the best judge, and when it comes to two, Kohli knows because of his fitness. Supreme.
Absolutely. And I think what also stood out, Jamie, was the way he is finding this bromance in Faf du Plessis, which he talked about as well. And in fact, I'm going to put that quote up as well, if we can load that up, on his partnership with Faf du Plessis. And it's actually been an incredible year for them. as partners at the top of the order. I think it's the tattoos. We call each other the Ink Boys. We almost have 900 runs together this season. It's been amazing to bat with him. Another guy very similar to how I used to feel when AB and me batted together. There's just an understanding of where the game is going and what needs to be done. We pump each other, we read the conditions, we give each other feedback for how we can play certain bowlers. Having an experienced guy who's captained at an international level, he's handled troops as well. It's just been a beautiful transition for us coming together for RCB at the top and making an impact, which is so important. I also get a sense that Virat Kohli feels very comfortable with Faf du Plessis by his side. With Faf du Plessis leading the team, but at the same time, Virat Kohli is there. He's doing his own thing. We've discussed this on the show. Every time we've discussed Faf du Plessis as to how he has filled that role, that gap created by AB de Villiers really well this year for Royal Challengers Bangalore in the way he's scoring runs, but also the partnership that he's creating on and off the field with Virat Kohli. And, you can see that in how RCB is performing, how they both are performing. Because Virat had only praises for Faf du Plessis. And we're also seeing how good that partnership is.
Oh, of course. I mean, I'll say it again. The moment that I saw that CSK stopped bidding for du Plessis 2 years ago, I said, wow, what a loss. And that's the steal deal of that auction, was Faf du Plessis going to, RCB, because they needed a captain, but they needed someone who's available, who's fit, and who's just that good. And no doubt, I mean, had Faf not scored all these runs last year and this year, Kohli would not have been so happy with him. But Kohli's now got someone who takes the pressure off, and they needed an opener. De Villiers and Kohli put on lots of runs, but De Villiers used to bat at 3, mainly 4. He's got an opener which allows Virat Kohli to open. Had Virat Kohli been opening for the last 2 years, and the guy at the other end was nowhere near successful, things would not have been so good. I mean, I'm just looking at the stats behind the screen here. 872 runs these guys have put on, this year. That's the most runs by a pair in a season of an IPL, right? Highest opening partnership, 172. So these guys are clearly working. And we saw after the match yesterday how he's going and giving him a little thing on the cheek or the chin, and they're hugging. all this comes when you're extremely comfortable, extremely compatible with someone. And look at their personalities, right? If Virat Kohli is in your face, aggressive, sometimes too over the top, Faf du Plessis barely breaks into a grin. He's just like, yeah, whatever, I'm just going to do my job and you do yours. So it's that fire and ice Jodi, which has worked so well. And I'm sure, Maya, lots of RCB fans are feeling like this could be the year. And it's largely because of what these two have done as an opening pair. Fantastic.
A lot of people are now comparing Virat Kohli's knock to how he was batting in 2016. That record-breaking year, really, for Virat Kohli. 900 plus runs, hundreds in that year. Do you think that's the Virat Kohli we're seeing?
I mean, look, he's got 600s, but look, it's like when we talk about Sachin Tendulkar, it's always like, oh, 98 was his best year for obvious reasons. But then 2010, I would argue, was as good a year. Look at, 98 to 2010, we're talking about 12 years, how that man has aged. Virat Kohli, 16 was a long time ago. 16, Virat Kohli was just becoming the Virat Kohli that we knew. 2014 was a wretched year for him. He spoke about it. But then when Dhoni stepped away and Virat Kohli became the test captain in the winter of 14-15, look at what Virat Kohli did. From averaging, 10 point something in those 5 matches in England. For the next 5 years, he averaged over 95 in test cricket. So 2016 was just when Virat Kohli started to become the Virat Kohli, the great chaser. I mean, what a T20 World Cup he had. I was there, yeah. Kushan was there, that 82 here, the 87 there. So 16, you get it. He was finding himself. But to bat like you were batting 7 seasons ago, plus given all the struggles you've had in the last 2 years, it's remarkable. I would still put 16 on a different pedestal because, what you said, 900 something runs, 400s. He's not been batting like that, but at this age, when people are questioning your place in the white ball sides to do this kind of performance day in, day out, I'm sure he's feeling very, very happy. And Kushan is right about that statement he made, So let's hope for RCB's sake that this continues for 3 more matches.
Yeah, and then Kohli's form carries on for the World Test Championship final in red ball cricket. But Kushan, just the 100 itself, you know, the intent that he showed, was that sort of to shut the critics, to say, look, or was that just him? Because he said that even at the post-match presentation that, look, we saw the conditions, we were seeing how the ball was coming onto the bat. It wasn't very difficult. They thought 200 was pass score. So he just came with that, that intent because of the conditions. How much of it is, you know, the fact that he wants to win a crucial match like this, and how much of it was whatever he probably hears from, you know, critics and trolls?
Yeah, like when you go out there, you shut yourself. You're just there in the zone. You just want to score the runs, and he did just that. He has been doing it for so awful number. I think awfully long time now. 16 years now. He's playing this top flight cricket. So 16 seasons of IPL, 16 years of international cricket, 13 years of, I believe, uninterrupted international cricket after he made a comeback.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's a proper pro. He knows what needs to be done. Having said that, yes, the conditions were good for batting. Like Brian Lara said that it was a home condition where there was no advantage for the home team. He said that I'm not complaining. Kudos to the curators for preparing good, firm, even bounce track where batters got their value for the shots. But yes, we lost 6 out of the 7 matches where other teams also got the same kind of advantage that we had. There was no distinct advantage. The same thing that Shane Watson and our back said about the Kotla track, that the kind of composition our team had, this track wasn't suitable for us. He was not happy. He made it very clear that it was not a track keeping in mind the composition that Delhi Capitals have had. So the same thing Lara said in a more mild manner, that kudos to the curator, full marks to them for preparing a batting track, but it was a good track. But having said that, with Kohli, if you look, Sunrisers Hyderabad were out. So once you're out and you know that, like, what there is a lack of motivation. You want the tournament to end when you have nothing going for you. 2 matches left. You just want to go back home. You have had so many flights, so many training sessions, hundreds of deliveries bowled, matches. You have not won, so it's stressful. So in that scenario, 186 I think was still 15 short of par. I believe, apart from Henrik Klassen's knock, it was still 15 short of par, and Abhishek Sharma had been hit for I think 31 in a match before that. So that was playing on his mind. Natarajan hasn't had it. He has had a middling season again. It's a neither here nor there kind of season for Natarajan. Same for Bhuvi, who is no longer, sorry to say, in the national team's consideration scheme of things right now. He's out of scheme of things. So you have too many players who lack motivation. And also, I believe it doesn't help the fact that there is no clear-cut plan. And Brian Lara, if you go back, Neha, and you have also, I believe, read that article where he said that he was a bit clueless how to manage a league like this, which we were talking last day, that not all great batters or all great players would be great coaches. Brian Lara, in fact, also admitted. So it was a Hyderabad team that wasn't shaping up well. Can Virat Kohli score against Mohammad Shami, against Gujarat Titans, or against a bowling lineup that CSK has right now? Obviously he can, no doubt about it. But the bowlers will be used better. They will bowl better line, and there will be better plans in place, which was not the case.
In case of absolutely.
In case of Bhuvi, I believe he went through the motions. I didn't see the Bhuvi who burst onto the scene against Pakistan in 2012.
Oh, absolutely.
There is nothing much happening. And at Uppal, he hardly got the ball to swing. Like Jamie can corroborate with me. How many times, Jamie, have we seen in the 14, 13 odd games where Bhuvi has been able to swing the ball first half? I think Sandeep Sharma has got more swing than him this time. But both a similar kind of bowlers, Bhuvi with a bit more pace.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that is, and he may have got some wickets. He's also controlled the runs, but he's nowhere the Bhuvi that we have seen in the past. The other thing being, you were talking about how Brian Lara said that he didn't know, or he found it difficult to manage the league. or managed this franchise. At the post-match with Aiden Markram saying, I don't know, behind the scenes who's taking the call. That is the part, again. Kushan, good teams in this IPL are the ones where owners are not making the decisions. They're not the ones who are going to be playing. They are not the cricketing brains behind the team. They bought the team, but they're not the ones making those decisions. How surprised were you? And I think that's a huge problem for a franchise, Jamie. When your captain says, I don't know what's happening with Umran Malik, I don't know why he's not being played.
And Meha and Kushan, it's not the first time this week Aiden Markram has made such comments. He's indicated enough that things are not all it seems. When a captain makes that statement about Umran Malik, I'm not sure what's happening. This has David Warner, SRH, written all over it. When you hear these statements, yes, the second statement was far more indicative of the backroom problems than his first one was regarding the batting. But now you understand. Yes, we're all talking about lack of performances, non-performers. I think last time we talked about Hyderabad on the show, Kushan rightly said, what has Brian Lara done in his past jobs to show that he's supposed to be here? Murli is there. But when a statement like that is made, that too by an overseas captain, something is not right. Put 2 and 2 together, you're getting 7 when it comes to all the problems. And now you understand why that team is now number 10.
Absolutely. But for Royal Challengers, yes, Kushan?
Can I come in, Meena?
Yes, please.
I would say that the only team that manages chaos well is Mumbai Indians. That is why they have won 5 trophies. Make no mistake, there are many channels, there are many layers at which Mumbai Indians operate, but they manage that chaos very well. They put
it
in
helps
place.
that you've managed to get the best players in the team for the longest time. But yes, you are right. They also support their players very well. They scout their players well. But let's talk about Royal Challengers Bangalore fans now, because we're getting close to that stage where they might qualify for the playoffs, and all those memes, all those fans who were being trolled for being Royal Challengers Bangalore fans, despite the fact that they've never won the trophy, suddenly are going to come out in numbers and say, hey, we proved you wrong. Do you see that happening? Because Royal Challengers Bangalore, with Virat Kohli's knock in the way Faf du Plessis is playing now, will be buoyed by this match. Jamie?
Just like I was saying earlier for RR, I think the same thing applies to RCB, right? Now every match is a knockout match. You lose one match and it's done, okay? Now, just like RR, Mumbai and RCB, whoever qualifies, they're going to end up at number 4. Once you do that, you need 2 outstanding matches. We all know, do what you want to do to scramble into the top 4. IPL comes down to 2 matches, okay, in the playoffs. Based on 1 or 2, and it's 3 matches if you're 3 or 4. Right, now, Bangalore has done exceedingly well to stay alive. And like I said, when Kushan was away, the momentum achieved by RCB from yesterday's win is fantastic. But again, not the first time we're saying, what happens when it's 12 for 2? Kushan just made the comparison of Bhuvi versus Mohammad Shami, right? What happens if RCB are 12 for 2? Is Glenn Maxwell going to walk out and start to switch hit Rashid Khan? No, right? Yeah. So yes, you've done exceedingly well to remain here. I read this line in about 3-4 articles. Their fate is in their hands. Outstanding, but Hyderabad are the weakest bowling team. Sunday, by the way, when did the last league match number 70 become so important? Normally, right, Kushan, ke bhai Friday tak ho gaya wo. The last match is going to decide who goes into number 4. And what a cracker of a match. I'm telling you, RCB were like, Arey yaar, Gujarat is waiting for us, right?
And at home.
Shami, I mean, at home, Narendra Modi Stadium. Let's see how many RCB fans are there. They cope?
Jamie, this is
in
Bangalore. Yeah.
But I'm saying, I'm telling you, I can feel, please, I want you both to share your views. I can feel Shubman Gill century loading, Rashid Khan 4 wickets. It's Gujarat for crying out loud. They're not going to give them anything,
Also,
So
the
yeah,
wait that they've had, right? I mean, these guys have just waited. Everybody else is playing. Gujarat's qualified, first team to qualify, and they've now not played a game for a while. They're going to come against Bangalore. Flat track, and you can expect, you're right, even Ridhiman Saha would want to score runs there. Kushan?
Yeah, obviously, but may I tell you something? Like, I want both Rohit and Virat to be there in the last four. And for that, I think Lucknow needs to lose. But I also don't want Lucknow to lose because in sport, I support three teams. Obviously, the Indian cricket team, the Bengal Ranji team, and Mohun Bagan football team. I don't support any IPL teams
Okay,
per se. I'm
I
very
get the
neutral. But I
connection
do
now.
support. I support Mohun Bagan football team, and tomorrow Lucknow Super Giants will be wearing the Mohun Bagan jersey, the green and maroon, as they play the match against KKR in Kolkata. So tomorrow, I don't want LSG to lose in the Mohun Bagan jersey. But if they don't lose, both Rohit and Virat don't make it to the playoffs. So that's there.
Yes, Jamie?
if you give me the chance, can I ask Kushan one somewhat cheeky question? I'm sure he knows much more. Kushan, a few minutes ago, we were talking
Fire.
about, all these teams. Meha was asking about teams that don't know a home advantage. What about Nitish Rana's statement that every team has home advantage except KKR? And then Mr. Sujan Mukherjee's reply to that.
Yes, Sujanda, I know Sujanda for a long time. From
Yeah,
the
I know.
time I was a cub reporter, Sujanda is a very headstrong man. He had played, he was a first class cricketer also. Obviously, not a big time first class cricketer, but he had played some 12, 13 matches for Bengal and has been a curator for the longest time. And he is not someone who takes a lot of bullshit from players. He would listen to them, but he's not someone who believes that. And I think
Ah, no,
how
he's back.
Rana said about what Rana said about the in garden track. I'm actually not very fond of Rana's statement. I like what
Huh,
Rana said. I believe
huh.
about the Eden Gardens track because at the end of the day you got to play what you were given,
What you're given.
and in case of Rana, he had the same problem with the Delhi track when Delhi Ranji team was playing, and he started as a captain last season. This year, he was not a red ball captain, but when he started, he had same issues with the Firozshah Kotla track also. So what
Sure.
happens is that I don't like when you don't win, you start blaming the track. That's the last thing you should be doing. Like it
Okay.
doesn't go well of a captain. Like
Yeah, no,
always.
you're
So,
right.
and,
You're
and
right. You're right. And I think if there's somebody who uh, who would be okay blaming the track or the conditions because the conditions impacted their results the most, it would be Delhi Capitals. Because see what they did when they went to Dharamshala, but at home they've just not been able to win because of those conditions and the team setup that they have. Okay, we're out of time, but there is a match between Punjab Kings and Rajasthan Royals and all the discussion around Royal Challengers Bangalore and Virat Kohli's 100. I forgot to ask you guys your quick predictions for the match. Who do you think will win tonight and who will be the top scorer? Jamie?
Rajasthan Royals and Sanju Samson.
Kya baat hai. What about you, Kushan?
Rajasthan Royals, and I would expect Yashasvi Jaiswal to cross that 600 run mark for himself and for making his claim for that tour of West Indies even stronger. There is a tour of West Indies coming up where obviously he will be staking his claim,
Sure.
and that should even be stronger. If you can score another 50, no harm. Like both teams are not qualifying, even if they win, there's a little chance. It has to be a miracle for the one of them to qualify. So let's enjoy some good fireworks. And Yashasvi, I've started being a big fan of Yashasvi. So
Okay.
I would want both Yashasvi and Jitesh Sharma from either side to do
To
well.
score runs. All right, guys, completely out of time, but thank you so much, Kushan Sarkar and Jamie Alto, for joining us here on the show. So, for them, they think Rajasthan Royals will win tonight, but these two teams will not just have to win tonight. they will also need other results to go their way, because they can get to 14 points at the most. And then there are already now 3 teams at the top who are 15 points or more. There are 2 teams who already have 14 points. So a lot of results need to go in their favor for them to be able to qualify for the playoffs. But that's it from us. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.